Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing set theory. Alright, and we're going to do exercise 1.4. So when I do set theory, there are 3 steps that we must go over in order to be successful in it. And so let's look at that. The first step is to identify the sign. You need to identify the sign. Alright, so if we look here for A, it says we see that it's E, this or the sign which stands for element. Okay, then the second step is for us to ask the question, is there brackets? All right, and so when we look at 1 on the left hand side, okay, we're looking for brackets on the left hand side of the equation. So we see that 1 does not have any brackets at all. Okay, and then finally we say, is the element included in the set? So the set, which is on our right hand side here, we see that 1 is in the set, and indeed 1 is an element. So for A, number 1, we found that it was an element, we found that there's no brackets, and we found that 1 is part of the set. It is an element of the set for A. So we would say that A would be true, right? Now if we look at B, again we're going to look at the sign. All right, so if we look at the sign, we see that it's a subset. Now the difference between an element and a subset is defined by point 2, is there brackets? In order for any set to be correct and to be a subset, the element that's on the left must contain, the digit rather, must contain brackets. Only when it's an element of a set, it does not include brackets. When you are looking for an element, like in the case of A, where 1 is without brackets and it says element, that will always be true if it's included in the set. But on the other hand, when we look at 1 and we're saying it's a subset, yes, so the sign is again a subset, and 1 is included in the set. However, because there are no brackets, B is actually false. Okay, so B. All right, so then if we look at C, we'll notice that yes, so we again identify the sign and we find that, hey, it's E, it's an element. Okay, and we find that it's 2, and 2 is inside of the set. However, 2 is in brackets. When we are looking for an element, we want the digit that's on the left hand side to be without brackets, like in the case of A. And therefore, even though it's included in the set, because it's in brackets, it is false. All right. Okay. So the next part is we're going to do D. And so as we follow through, so for D, we see that it's a subset and it's in brackets and it's included in the set. And therefore, I'm just going to put T here, it's true. Okay. If we look at E, okay, it's in, now this is a bit tricky. We see that it's 2 and 3 and it's an element. And we see there's a set inside of a set, which is 2 and 3, and we see 2 and 3 is there as well. But however, it still doesn't change. If we're looking for an element, the digits on the left must be without brackets, must not contain brackets, and hence it would be false. Okay. And finally, for F, we see that we're looking for a subset, and we see that 2 and 3 is inside brackets, and we see that it is included in both sets, and therefore F is true. Okay, now let's move on to um, number 2. All right, join me in part 2 of set theory. Thank you.